Let me say at the onset how pleased I am that, first of all, there's no loss of life. That's my first thing I want to say. Of course, I'm here joined by the Chief Education Officer and the Principal of Leicester School. I was at the ministry when I got the call, but upon coming here at the scene, what is very clear, and it concerns me, of course, this is not to prejudice what is going on in terms of the investigation of our police, but to see that we have a public service vehicle here, off route, on a Monday morning, transporting our country's children to school is of significant, a major challenge for me. That's one. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing today is to be reaching out, of course, to the Ministry of Transport and Works and also the Public Service Vehicles Association, because it cannot be that our children are not safe when they ought to be. And I want to make it very clear that the time has certainly passed and perhaps now come that we must also relate how our students engage with the public service vehicles in Barbados. This is not a pronouncement of any policy, but I'm telling you, in the interest of our children and the interest of their safety, we must now make sure that law and order is, first of all, enforced, and two, have a conversation with our country. And parents, I want to encourage you, speak to your children when they leave home, cover them under the blood of Jesus. And I'm certain this morning this is a tangible manifestation of the blood of Jesus working, because this could have been absolutely worse, where the country this morning could have been in a state of mourning. Thankfully, we're not. But I also want to thank the ministry's response team and the education officers who are here, also our counseling services who have been deployed to ensure that our students, not only who have been affected and of course gone off to medical facilities, but those students here who would have witnessed or would have had friends in the public service vehicle, they're receiving ongoing counseling. And I'm letting the public know, and parents, if you have not been aware, the school will be closing on half day so that the school can settle, counseling can take place, and that we can now move forward in a comprehensive way to now bring a sense of normalcy back to Leicester School. But this is just bigger than this morning. Across the country, we continue to see a significant level of breaches of law and order, particularly with a number of public service vehicles and our children. You may recall years ago, where a young lady would have lost a limb, perhaps in a similar context. It is foolishness, and we have to stop it. Drivers of the public service vehicles, you have a responsibility. If you're not aware, read the Road Traffic Act. You have an obligation, like every other driver, and responsibility in how you engage with the public, but in particular our children, the future of this country. Imagine we're doing transformation of education. We're trying to make sure that our children can now be competitive in the world, but acts like this can derail all of what we're trying to achieve. And not only will affect the children, but their families, their communities, and you yourselves. You have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to make sure that when you're conducting your service and offering your service to the public, and in particular our children, that you cannot do what you like. As I said, this is not to prejudice any investigation that, of course, the police is undertaking, but I'm deeply concerned about the state of affairs and how a number of our public service vehicles continue to act on the roads. And when it comes to our children, there's a zero tolerance. There's a zero tolerance. And I, as minister, want to make it very, very clear. If we have to review how our students engage with the public service vehicles, then that's a conversation I'm ready to have. Because why? We have to protect the future of this country.